Hi, and welcome to Bath's Teams Conversations. This will involve me and a couple of ambassadors discussing various topics around university, such as what is university, looking at applying and choosing a university, as well as talking about what life is like at the University of Bath. This video's topic is what is university. Hopefully this video should help you decide whether university is right for you, as well as letting you know what university life is like and what sort of things we get up to. We'll also be comparing differences between university and school, and just generally talking about what it's like studying at university level. We hope you find this video useful. I'm Callie Rice, and I am the Student Recruitment Assistant here at the University of Bath. I myself was a student for 4 years here at Bath as well, and I studied biology as my undergraduate degree.
Hi, my name's Sophie, and I did my undergraduate degree in French, German and European Studies, and I'm currently doing a master's degree in European Studies. I did both at the University of Bath.
Hi, my name's Natalie. I am an undergraduate natural scientist at Bath. My major's in physics and my minor's in chemistry, obviously studying here at Bath.
Hi, I'm Mackyla. I study social sciences here at the University of Bath. This is my third year and I'm currently on placement year.
Does anybody have any big answers to what is university? Is there something that pops to mind?
Well, by definition, university is a higher education institute where students can go to complete academic studies and academic research is completed. However, in reality, university is a lot more than that. It's academics, it's making friends, having fun, it's doing something you love. So it's a whole package, and it's definitely an experience that you might only get once in a lifetime.
Yeah, it's like just completely like immersive learning. Like for most people, you'll move to a new city, you'll be making completely new friends and like completely new cultural and social norms that you probably haven't experienced before.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely a step up from like college or school learning. So when I first got to university, I noticed the difference straight away. So obviously when you were at college, you do maybe like essay exams, but for my course, it's mostly coursework and they're long essays, you have to start referencing. So I guess it's just that step up of learning.
So yeah, you learn a lot more academic skills, but then you also get a lot more freedom because it's the first time probably in your life that you're in charge of your own timetable. Of course, you have classes and things to attend, but you don't have your mum or dad telling you what to do, or you're in charge of like when you come home at night, or what you cook for your dinner, what you have for your breakfast, when you wake up in the morning. So it is really ultimate freedom. You get to do so much more than what you can do whilst you're doing A-levels or BTECs.
Yeah, I think that was like a major part of university for me in a way, because I was so used to just being me and my mum at home, and it would be like I did anything she'd know about it, or we do stuff together, and then came to university and it was all my own choice of what I did, and I could do whatever I wanted whenever I wanted, which was quite strange. So at first it was sort of like, what do I do with myself? But I guess you quite quickly learn to just kick into it and try out loads of new things and different clubs, societies, that kind of thing. Keep up with all your work as well. That's quite interesting, rather than being at school where like your teacher's making sure that you've got everything down in your book and everything's done on time, or your homework submitted. At university, there's no one there to like look over your shoulder, I suppose. So it's quite interesting to just be there, out there on your own. And I'd say university's been really good in giving me independence. I don't feel like I was very confident or a very independent person before I came to university, but that's probably the biggest thing I've achieved from coming to university. Obviously you get your degree, you get a lot of new friends and everything, but that's probably the biggest change personality wise, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Like all of a sudden you're in charge of your own food shop, and like obviously your own budget, and as you say, like it's up to you whether you go to lectures in the morning and whether you don't, but it's completely like the consequences are on you as well. And I think finding that rhythm that suits you and being able to work yourself is very insightful, let's say.
Yeah, it's kind of like your first step, I guess, to becoming an adult in a way. Like I couldn't imagine anything like that before university, and then coming to university, you just naturally pick up a lot of skills. So like you're saying, just like going to the shop and buying food for yourself, like maybe learning to budget, but obviously like all the academic stuff as well, becoming a more confident person, learning for yourself and taking your learning into your own hands, I suppose, as well. Because at school, like you're so used to getting told everything, you get told what you're meant to be learning, whereas university, obviously you've got your degree and you do have to stick with your degree, but you do get some flexibility and maybe like extra reading you want to do, or maybe little projects you get to be involved with. So I guess you get to like tailor your studies a bit more as well. Did you guys get much flexibility with your courses?
Yeah, I got quite a lot of flexibility with mine. We did have compulsory modules, but we were always allowed to, for example, like the essay at the end of a module, we were allowed to choose the topic, choose what we wrote about. So it was really, really flexible. You could specialise in what you were interested in. And even if you kind of had an idea that went beyond suggested questions, you could always bring that up to your lecturer, and they were quite keen to suit your interests.
Yeah, mine's the same. I have a lot of flexibility. So obviously we're studying all of the social sciences. You get to choose what you want to study. So obviously you've got like economics, sociology, politics, psychology, and you're only allowed 5 units. So only one of the units per semester are compulsory, and it's usually either qualitative methods or quantitative methods, and the rest you get to choose. So it really just depends on what you're interested in most. Yeah.
I think this is probably where NatSci varies a little bit. So being a physics major as a NatSci, you have to do 2 compulsory modules first and second year, and they're both supported by a compulsory maths module, because obviously there's a lot of ramped up maths, physics degree. And then so like first and second year, like not that much choice. For my 2 chemistry modules, I had the option of 3. So physical, organic or inorganic chemistry, and I picked physical and organic and carried those through to second year. But then this year this is my final year, I've had the freedom to pick up a business module. So I'm doing business strategy from the School of Management, which has been like a nice bit of variation from what was pretty much a defined degree to start with. But yeah, it's been interesting this year.
How would you say studying at degree level has varied to like studying at school?
For me, it was quite a big step up. I did French and German as A-levels. However, at the University of Bath, it's a complete immersive experience. So we only speak French and German in the classrooms. You have to act in French and German. You have to read completely in French and German. So it was a really exciting but scary experience, because you're really getting thrown in at the deep end. But this only can do good because it prepares you for your year abroad. So with all languages degrees, you do a year abroad, which is the best year where you get to live in the country. So yeah, although it is a big jump from A-levels, it's really, really, really fun at the same time. And also I would say you get a lot more opportunity to specialise in what you're interested in. The kind of area of languages that I like the most, which is the history side of it. And I'm also really interested in feminism, so I was able to really delve into that topic through my languages at the University of Bath.
Obviously, you go from school where you study 11 subjects, and then you go to A-level where you study 4. And then in my case, I've come to university and I study 2, kind of in in-depth detail. And sort of that, obviously with that narrowing of your studies, you expect it to be more difficult. Obviously you're learning in a lot more detail, but I don't think you're really prepared for, like, you're essentially stepping up to become a researcher then when you hit your degree level. And yeah, like you learn so much more. And I've had moments where I've had lecturers that are teaching me rip the textbook that I learn from. And that sort of gives you a perspective of like the level you're at, but it's so interesting.
Was it actually the lecturer's research?
So he wrote it was one of my chemistry lecturers. He wrote the core chemistry textbook that we learn from. And this year for my final year project, I'm doing a research project, and my supervisor published his paper late last year. And then we're like working on code to develop it now. So like, yeah, it's pretty like forefront of research, which is really cool.
Yeah, for me, it was a really big step up. I didn't really know anyone who had been to university before, so I didn't really know what to expect. So go from A levels to university, yeah, it was a big step up. One thing that really helped me though, because obviously I mentioned before about going from like exam essays to like coursework essays. I didn't really know how to reference or anything like that, or like properly structure essays. So I went to the skills workshops that the university put on, and it was like an essay writing skills workshop, and it really, really helped. And I think I went to around 3 of them, and I went from getting like thirds to 2-1. So there is a lot of help that the university puts on for you as well, which is really nice.
That's great. What would you say is the non-academic side of university?
One of the best parts of the non-academic side of things is that you can have a really big social life, and you can do lots of things in your free time. So I would say I'm quite a busy person. I like to keep myself active. So I was quite social in my halls. I met quite a lot of people when I was living in first year, but I also met a lot of people from my course and from doing ballroom and Latin dancing. So I did dancing before I went to university. And then I continued it at university, as you can do with lots of other sports. So that was another great way to meet friends, keep fit and have fun. And I also did a lot of volunteering. So at the University of Bath, we have B Team and RAG, where you can volunteer your time or help to raise money. And it's just a great way to get to know the local community and actually meet people who are not students as well, because you're moving to a new city and it's really easy to meet lots of other students, and it's nice as well to meet people who are from the local area, so that's a good opportunity for that. But yeah, there are lots of different things you can do in your free time at university. One of the things for a lot of people is going out, and it's not for everybody. University isn't all about drinking, but for a lot of people that is a big thing for them. So I would say I would go out maybe 2-3 times a week, because I do like dancing and going out. Yeah, I think it is different for everybody. Especially when you're in final year, you might not want to go out as much.
You shouldn't want to go out as much, but yeah, so the same really. Like in my first year, I lived in Westwood, and so from the offset, I was living in halls with 17 people. And from there, like, you just got a huge group of friends already. The Nat size, because we're quite a small course, obviously you get quite close. So there's loads of stuff to do there, and societies, as Sophie's mentioned. So I'm part of PoleSoc, which is a pole dancing society here in Bath. They run classes at a local studio, have social events, and again, as Sophie said, like, going out is a huge part of being here in Bath. But like, it's such a beautiful city as well, that like, just having your friends from home down for a weekend, you're never short of things to do. They have like pop-up ice rinks at Christmas time, and like the lake is so beautiful to spend time by in the summer that you're never short of things to do.
Yeah, a lot of people do wonder, because Bath is quite a small city, whether there is enough to do as a student.
Yeah.
So I assure you, I've been at the University of Bath a long time now, and I have been so busy with all the amazing things to do. Because you have the city, which is a World Heritage City, so beautiful. You can look around, you can go to the Roman baths, you can go shopping, you can eat out with your friends. And then you've got the campus, which has got absolutely everything that you would need. And then if you're bored of all that, you can hop on the train and get to Bristol in 10 minutes. Or if you want to go even bigger, you can go to London within 2-3 hours. So I feel like as a student, you've just got so many different things you can do. I have never, ever been bored in Bath.
Yeah, there's like a direct cycle route just from Oldfield Park that goes all the way to Bristol. So that's a good alternative as well. Like, plenty of pubs on the way, and it's a beautiful, beautiful ride.
I lived in Westwood, the same as you, for my first year. So like, straight away I lived with, well, there was like 23 rooms, so there's a lot of people to get to know, and like, obviously living with those people, so you do become quite close. So in first year I found out that 2 of my flatmates played guitar, and I sang, so we all joined Music Zoc together. And we like played at the open mic nights every Thursday, which was really nice. And then in second year, obviously I noticed that Bath was quite a sporty uni, but I'd never done a sport before going to university, so I thought I'd try a few out. And now I've competed for Bath Jets cheerleading, twice. So I've competed nationally, which is something I never thought I would do. And I've just been elected the Welfare and Inclusivity Officer. So with all the sports clubs, there's a committee that you can become a part of, and obviously that will look really good on your CV, and it's a great way to get involved with the club more. So there's definitely a lot to do at university. And then with the sports clubs, there's a sports night out every Wednesday, and everyone usually dresses up and there's like a different theme every week. So yeah.
Awesome,
With sports as well, like doesn't have to necessarily be competitive. So like I enjoyed playing netball before I came to uni, but like as you sort of start going out more, I started taking like my sport a bit less seriously, but obviously still wanted to participate. And so like netball do an open session on a Sunday evening, and it's like £1 or £2 to go to. It's mixed, and you basically can just turn up. You don't have to tell them you're going. You don't have to go every week. But like it's a really nice thing to get your house to go to, just to like occupy you for an hour, do something a bit different and play. Like not that competitively, but you're still like participating in the sport, which is nice. They still have like social teams. So even if you don't want to compete necessarily, you can still do the sports as well.
It's probably the first chance after you've done A-levels that you have to start a new sport. You can do it from beginner level, or you can start a more competitive level, and you can just take it as, it's really flexible. You can take it as you want. If you want to make it something that's really, you know, competitive, you can do, but if you just want to do it for a bit of fun and meet lots of people and get fit whilst doing it, then you can do that too. So yeah, it's probably, you've got like a choice of 50 clubs. There's so many different sports clubs. It's incredible. So it's a really good chance to learn something new, or to just continue something you enjoy doing.
Exactly, yeah.
And like not just sports as well. So in my first year, my house were a part of the baking society. Very
always
up my
wanted to join
street.
that.
Go eat a load of cake. Essentially, you just bring your own bake. They used to do live streaming sessions of the Great British Bake Off, and each person would bring their own bake, and obviously then you share them. So don't be like put off by thinking, oh, it's only sports that can get you involved with other people. It's definitely not. Most courses have a society as well. So NatSci has a Christmas ball, an end of year ball. We have like a pub golf introduction social. So your course will have a social aspect as well.
Thanks everyone for listening to this Teams Path conversation. Today we talked sort of about what is university, talked a bit about academic studies, so what it's like at university compared to school, and we also talked a bit about sort of the extracurricular activities you can get involved with, sports, societies, and sort of having a good time with meeting loads of new friends. Thanks again for listening.